southeastern parts of Nowata County. Let's examine that one closely too as we look at velocity data. And again, thankfully, we've not seen any evidence with correlation coefficient, dual pole Doppler radar that we've lofted any debris, but I see two focus spots of rotation. One just to the north of Highway 60, another broader. This is the original circulation that's on Highway 28 east of Delaware. Remember, just a few minutes ago, we were able to give everybody in Nowata County the all clear west of Highway 69. Make sure we can add the towns of Delaware and Nowata to that too. Here's New Alloway, south of this circulation. But again, that's what we're looking at right in here. We can take a look at correlation coefficient, and thankfully we're not, out of either one of these circulations, seeing any evidence that we have lofted debris. Left side of your screen, that's some of the heavy rain moving across parts of Tulsa right now. Things quieting down along the Arkansas River there. As we expand the view, our severe storms continue moving from far northeastern Tulsa, Owasso area, up into Rogers County. Another cluster of strong to severe storms in Okfuskee County will move up over Tulsa, so we'll have to watch that closely. Earlier, that did have a tornado warning in Seminole County, but for now, the circulation looks like it has weakened just a bit. Let's jump into the metro area, get you caught up on the strong to severe thunderstorms moving through parts of Tulsa, and we're just almost able to give the all clear in Tulsa from this round, west of 169, but there will be more on the way. Our storm team coverage continues with Fox 23 and KRMG right now. We'll do a track on these storms. This line of storms is the last one over Tulsa, at least for a couple of minutes, maybe a little bit longer than that, but we're watching the storms moving up into Creek County. We'll take a look at those in just a bit. But you can see the heavy rain moving up toward Redbud Valley Preserve. Lynn Lane at 127, Catoosa 132 in the Casino, Keatonville 137, Verdigris at 140, on into Claremore by 152. Not seeing any organized rotation with this right now. We'll continue to watch it closely. Let's move further south. A couple of downpours from Jinx back down toward New Beginnings Church in the southwestern part of Tulsa County, a long way from becoming severe. Likewise, what's moving over Highway 75 from basically 117 through the work zone at 141st down to the Okmulgee County line. That too is not severe. Our severe storm moving quickly through parts of Okfuskee County. We'll take a look at velocity. And thankfully, we're not seeing any kind of really strong or organized rotation with this too. That's a really good sign because remember, it did have a tornado warning earlier, about a half hour ago, in parts of Seminole County, but it is racing to the north. We'll do a track on this as it moves north. We'll say about 35 miles per hour because this one's going to move up into southern parts of the metro area. Okfuskee by 125, Edna 133, just to the west of Okmulgee, Nuyaka, Twin Lakes area. At about 137, Dentonville 142, Beggs at 148, Mounds 159, and we're talking into parts of Tulsa County, Glenpool, Liberty Mounds, just after 2 o'clock. Right now, gusty wind and heavy rain, the biggest threat out of this. As we continue to watch this system move to the northeast, and once this one clears, then we will be able to give the all clear for a much longer duration of time in Tulsa. Tornado watch in effect until 6 o'clock. One tornado warning in Nowata County, but kind of a smattering of severe thunderstorm warnings up and down that. Team coverage continues. Meteorologist Mike Grogan. Mike?
Yeah, we're going to start with a view to the southwest of Jinx. Here's the next round of storms coming on in. So we're getting a couple rounds coming through. This is not an immediate concern for dangerous weather, but heavy downpours. And as we get these repeated rounds of heavy rain, driving on the roads gets a little more difficult. Any low-lying spot you know of in your path or your destination, if you're heading through a spot where there's a low spot in the road, be extra cautious because flooding is a big concern. We do have a flood watch through the rest of the afternoon in addition to the tornado watch as well. Tulsa getting a little break from the storms unless you're on the far east side near Catoosa or north sides of Broken Arrow right now. That cell is not severe, but here comes that next round from the south and west. Broader view to the southwest, we're getting heavy storm activity in western Pittsburgh County. Another storm that has been warned as severe approaching Holdenville in Hughes County, but our severe storm continues to lift northeastward from Okemah. Right now, just back to velocities to keep a close eye on any circulation, nothing of immediate concern. The leading edge of that storm, though, is near the community of Okfuskee, where we see near Highway 56 there, some indication that there could be winds maybe up to 60 miles per hour. That's the number one concern. So far, these storms have not been major hail producers. We'll just check in on the hail product right now just to see if we have anything, and there's very little signature for that, so perhaps that's some good news there. So back to the wide view again. This is the storm that has a tornado warning for another few minutes in far eastern and southeastern Nowata County. We'll see if the National Weather Service chooses to extend it, but right now the circulation is there, but it's weaker than it has been. This did produce a brief tornado earlier near and just west of Talala with a 94-mile-per-hour wind gust actually measured from one of the weather stations there. This circulation would be very close to Highway 28, maybe near the community of Childers there. We are looking at this approaching maybe 160 road here, eventually towards Centralia. You would be the next community to be impacted by this. If you are in Centralia or far western or northwestern Craig County, go ahead and be prepared to move to your sheltered spot. We'll continue to keep a close eye if this warning is extended. The overall movement and just the wide view will show this is continuing northeastward. We've got Craig County up next. One severe thunderstorm warning, far southern Creek County, approaching Okmulgee County, and no other severe thunderstorms right now. But I do want to just point out we do have a tornado warning just south of our viewing area right here. Looking like it's approaching just the far southwestern corner of Pittsburgh County. If you're watching us from Pittsburgh County, from near the Ashland area or Kiowa, even Savannah, we're going to keep a close eye on this. I'm just going to put this into motion here. This will likely take it towards Highway 69, kind of that route down to Dallas, you might know. This is a zone of concern. The velocity. Let's go a little bit further down so we can see what we're looking at here. Yeah, there's defined rotation north of Springtown. That's the area of concern just to the west of Highway 69. If you have any friends heading south towards Dallas right now, maybe between Kiowa and Stringtown, make sure they are holding off. You don't want to be on the road as this passes over the roadway there. I'm just going to pull up correlation coefficient. This is pretty far from the radar site, but well, there is a drop-off there. Yeah, we'll keep a close eye on that right now. It's very close to the junction of Highway 43 and Highway 69. Once again, that's not our immediate viewing area, but this would be moving pretty quickly into southern Pittsburgh County. So that's your heads up right now as we're keeping a close eye on that cell. This is all part of a broader tornado watch. We're keeping a close eye on things through 6 p.m. and perhaps extending it further as these storms continue to blow through Green Country. We do have our tornado warning ongoing just a bit longer, and they will be issuing a tornado watch into Arkansas as these storms continue to expand that direction as well. James, we'll send it back over to you.
Now, again, thankfully in Tulsa, things have been relatively quiet compared to what's been going on around either side of us. No severe thunderstorm or tornado warnings in Tulsa right now, and at least for Tulsa, we've got some good news to talk about. One, this cluster of strong to severe thunderstorms continue to lift to the northeast. Officially, we still have that tornado warning in effect for southeastern Nowata County for about another minute. In Tulsa, we have a couple of downpours, but nothing severe. Let me take you into Creek and Okfuskee and Okmulgee County. Our severe storm is actually going to clip the southeastern corner of Creek County and move up toward the city of Tulsa, at least the south parts of the metro area. So we'll keep a close eye on this because that, over the next 30 minutes, could make it all the way up toward Highway 67 and Bixby, New Beginnings Church there west of Bixby. We're looking at Beggs at 143 and New Yucca right about now. Winchester, 153, Mounds and Liberty Mounds between about 1:50 and 2 o'clock. Again, no sign that we've got strong circulation with it, but it is a severe storm continuing to lift toward the northeast. New tornado warning will likely be coming for our circulation in Nowata County. We'll wait for that, and we'll take you right over to that. And that's going to add Craig County. So there's the new warning. We'll hit that. It'll take us right up into this. The rotation is close to Sanders right now. And again, it has sharpened up a little bit in Sanders and all the way up into northern Craig County. And we're looking west of Welch, west of Pyramid Corners, and northwest of Veneta. You're clear. You're out of this polygon right now. But that main circulation located in the Sanders area now. For this one, we can give everybody to the west and southwest of Highway 28 the all clear with that main rotation taking place right in here. Let's zoom in even further. We'll give you a good fix on this as it gets close to the Nowata and Craig County line, which is right here. If you're in the Sanders area, take tornado precautions immediately. This is a stronger circulation. No evidence that we've lofted any debris up into the radar signal just yet, but that circulation is very small, it's tight. Remember watching figure skaters, ice skaters, when they pull in their arms, they spin a little bit faster. Same story holds true with rotation in thunderstorms. So when it's small and bright like that, that is a very tight, strong circulation. Again, just to the northeast of Childers, we can give the all clear in Childers now, but northwest of Veneta in Craig County, we have Centralia and all the way up toward Highway 10. You need to be in your tornado safe place all the way from Hollow over to the county line between Nowata and Craig County. So that circulation will continue to move to the northeast. It'll cross 4300 Road, and if it holds together, move up toward Van Zant too. Let's bounce back out, and two things I want to do. One, updated track on this as that moves to the northeast. Two, we'll look at that severe storm that's moving into Okmulgee County from southwestern Creek County. So our tornado warned storm moving into Craig County towards Sanders at 133 and Hollow by about 159. We've gotten some new radar data in here. I want to take a look at that. Yeah, that's still a really strong circulation in the Sanders area right on the county line. We'll jump over to correlation coefficient. This is not the lower correlation coefficient that we would talk about, but what we are seeing still strong circulation located right embedded in some of the heaviest rain. So if you're waiting to see a funnel in a day like today, we're probably not going to get good visual confirmation until that thing is right up on you. So even in Montgomery County, let's look up here. This storm has not been severe over the course of the afternoon, but it has brought some downpours, thunder, and lightning. But even in Montgomery County, basically west of 169, this thing is just about finished for you. We have one severe thunderstorm warning that's still moving northeast, one severe thunderstorm in the warning area. That warning expires at 1:45. We go further to the south. City of Tulsa, we're all clear from anything severe for the next 30 minutes or so, but look what awaits us. We've got a severe thunderstorm moving out of Creek and Okfuskee County into Okmulgee County right now. We'll examine it because it's starting to have a little bit of an orientation that's concerning as it's leaned back a little bit from northwest to southeast. But as far as gusty wind and heavy rain, we're looking at New Yucca at about 134, and let's see, 134 for that, Beggs 126, Mounds 152. Liberty Mounds at 2 o'clock, Glenpool 202, PSO plant in Jinx at about 209, Bixby, Woodland Hills Mall just after that. Wind seems to be the primary threat here. Let's look at velocity, and we're going to zoom into that spot that is kind of lean back again, watching it closely. And it's kind of noisy velocity here. Let's take a look. Again, though, it's kind of right in the spot that we would see a circulation develop if we would see that circulation try to form right there. So we're going to keep a close eye on that. That's in the New Yucca area now. I'm going to look at it on high-resolution Doppler radar. And again, it's a little bit noisy, so it doesn't look like that's coincident exactly with where it needs to be to call that strong rotation. But we're in the New Yucca area right now. Severe thunderstorm warning is in effect until 1:45 for this. That's going to be extended up into Tulsa County the way that storm looks on radar. Let's go further to the south too, because we still have a severe thunderstorm warning, actually a tornado warning, that's moving up into parts out of Atoka County and up into southwestern sections of Pittsburgh County right here. Northeast of Colgate, there's the tornado warning in Atoka County. Watching it closely here, let's check velocities. And again, it's got a strong circulation in it. We're looking up mid-levels in the storm here. But as this continues moving to the northeast, it's going to be moving again right up Highway 69 where we had the rotations move last night too. So Limestone Gap, Reynolds in Atoka County, but once this gets into Pittsburgh County, we're talking Kiowa and Savannah, right up Highway 69. And as Mike said, that's a busy travel road from McAllister down into North Texas. So need to call people out ahead of this, that are going to be on Highway 69 and tell them to hold off until after that moves on out. For the rest of us, again, in the city of Tulsa, we've got some heavy downpours moving over south parts of the metro area right now, and we're keeping a close eye on this storm very close to Nuyaka right now in western parts of Okmulgee County. Still some noisy velocity in it. Let's check in with meteorologist Mike Grogan.
We're going to start with an overview of the storms. Just in case you're joining us, here is where we have the most concerning activity with these storms. We have our tornado warning for northern Craig County. That is going to take us until 2:15. A severe thunderstorm warning for a storm that's actually starting to pass out of Rogers County, so that may or may not be continued eastward. We also have our severe thunderstorm warning till 1:45 here. Now mostly concerned about Okmulgee County and then a cell south of McAllister, just outside the viewing area that is tornado warned. We'll start with our tornado warning in Craig County. That cell continues to move pretty quickly to the northeast. It's about 45 miles per hour, and this will continue its way through the far northern sections of the county. Right now, the circulation perhaps a bit weaker right now. Right into the Craig County, western Craig County line. So if you're in Nowata County, you are in the clear from this now. Highway 10, it's approaching you in the Hollow community. So if you are between Centralia and Hollow, be in your sheltered spot right at this time. Further south, we've got heavy storms in the Tulsa area, the South Metro, but nothing that's severe. Right now, our storm of more concern near Beggs. We're still watching it. It's oriented in a way where we could get a stronger circulation to develop. Right now, some of the strongest winds will be approaching Highway 16, getting closer to Beggs here at the edge of the warned area. We'll watch to see if this gets extended into Okmulgee County, but still a very strong storm with the capability of up to 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. And then we have our warned storm just into Atoka County, but I've extended that track a little bit further to the north and east. Just as a heads up, if you're in Kiowa, 148 is when the most concerning part of that storm may be passing close to you. Pittsburgh by 150, Pine Top by 155. We're looking a little down the road here. Alderson, Hartshorn, this is your heads up, 210, 215. This could be passing your direction. If you're watching us from McAllister, it appears the motion of the storm would take it just south of you, but you still want to be watching this very closely as it's still, if it took a little jog to the north, then we could certainly be under an area of concern. So right now, as we take a look at the broader view, okay, we do have, first of all, a new severe thunderstorm warning for parts of southern Tulsa County. And as I widen the view out a little further, we do have that new tornado warning. And that is going to be likely, yep, that's into Pittsburgh County. So let's go right back there, and we'll take a look at that new tornado warning. And that's going to take us until 2 p.m., it looks like. So widen the view just a little bit. It takes it just south of McAllister. So right up to the edge of town is where we find that warning. Let's take you further down here. That circulation is passing just along the Atoka-Pittsburgh County line. Perhaps you know that bend in the road there where it passes by the power plant just off to there. That's about where we're seeing that circulation. Yep, and it's right there just near Highway 131, getting close to where it meets Highway 69. This will continue its way. Kiowa, Savannah, you're both included in this warning, so now is the time to head to your safe spot, your sheltered location, more walls between you and outside. That's what you're looking for to keep yourself safe as the most dangerous part of this storm passes over. Even if this does not have a tornado, 60-plus mile-per-hour winds are a concern as well, and given how wet our soils are, trees could easily tip over in these circumstances. Do want to take you back to this other tornado warning that's taken us through northern Craig County. This will take it up north of Veneta. You're not in the path of this part of the storm, and then we have another heavy part of the storm crossing Highway 60 in southeastern Nowata County. That storm, though, not showing any major signs of circulation at this point, but we're still in an environment where that could occur, so we're keeping a close eye on a lot of these storms. Latest check of that circulation near Highway 10. Right here is probably where we're seeing probably the tightest circulation here. So that's a little too close for you to make kind of a sense of where we are here, but just widening the view, it's west of Hollow, and now that circulation actually appears to be a bit stronger north of Highway 10, and so at the very northern extent of the warned area, taking it through an area that is fairly low population, but we want you to be certainly watching this if you are near the Oklahoma-Kansas line. This is the border right here. It is likely going to continue up this way, eventually towards our friends in Chautauqua, Kansas. All right, back to the storm south side of Tulsa. We have a new warning. It takes it through Bixby and even Hectorville. We are concerned about winds up to 60 miles per hour. Also, perhaps a little bit of hail. There seems to be maybe more of a hail core approaching Beggs. I'm going to pause the motion of this, go a little closer in, and, oh, not what I'm looking for there. So as we go right here, I just want to zoom into kind of this zone of concern. We do have a little notch there, so as we take a look at velocities, maybe some weak rotation around Beggs, but not enough to prompt a tornado warning. Just as your heads up, though, this will pass from Beggs to Winchester and eventually Hectorville, northern Okmulgee County. Just be ready for this storm. Make sure you are in a place that's sturdy enough. You don't want to be on the roads with this passing over, including Highway 75. That storm will be rapidly approaching 75 here in the next 10 to 15 minutes. There is a lead storm in advance of that. That's not the severe one over Winchester and Hectorville. It's this cell with the brighter reflectivity where we find likely the strongest winds, heaviest of the rainfall, and that potential for perhaps a little hail. Our hail signature right here. Thankfully not showing a whole lot, at least according to radar, so perhaps that's a bit of good news for our friends in Beggs. But once again, Highway 16, getting closer to the junction of Highway 75 is where we'll be watching. Very south end of the Tulsa metro area needs to be on guard for this severe thunderstorm as well. Once again, the circulation just not super tight, but that could change in a hurry, so we'll keep a close eye. Once again, we do have our tornado warn cell also in Pittsburgh County. It's moving northeastward. Take off the track there so you can see that. And as we plot the velocities, yeah, there we go. It's still a tight mid-level circulation. We're looking pretty far from the radar site here, which means we don't have as close of a view. An updated look shows it's very close to the community of Reynolds, which is just into KOKI County, but we're just talking a few miles from officially entering Pittsburgh County, where that warning has been extended until 2 p.m. And by the way, they have extended the tornado warning in Craig County all the way into Labette County now, just outside the Fox 23 viewing area. But for your friends up there, there's your heads up as well. This will continue towards Kiowa with time. If you're watching us from Tulsa, we're getting heavy rain on the south sides of the city. Nothing severe right now, but we'll continue to watch as more storms push into the metro area. Our tornado threat and severe weather concerns are not done for the city, but the National Weather Service will start to trim some of the counties from the watch area as we see that threat starting to drop off in our westernmost counties. But we'll send it back over to James for a complete update.
And we'll start in Tulsa. Looking across East Tulsa, we have some downpours in Tulsa County and the metro that are not severe. We'll run down those severe thunderstorm warnings again and the tornado warnings in just a bit, but some heavy rain in spots. As we look at radar, you can see some of the heaviest rain is really kind of concentrated in South Tulsa right now. But again, it is not severe. Let's take a look. And again, as we look a little bit closer into this, we're watching another pretty good-sized downpour moving up from Okmulgee County into sections of southern Tulsa County, and that's probably what we're looking at here. There's that strong downpour, heavy downpour, but not severe, and that's moving now north of the Creek Turnpike and right up toward Woodland Hills Mall, Union High School. That's going to zip across East Tulsa. That's not the severe storm. Our severe storm further to the south has prompted a severe thunderstorm warning that does include Bixby and far southern parts of Broken Arrow, Leonard, and on down close to Stone Bluff too, and everybody to the south from that. And that's a look at that severe thunderstorm warning. And that warning is in effect until 2 o'clock. That severe storm is very close to Beggs right now. Let's zoom in and we'll take a look at velocities with it because, again, it's got an orientation that's a little concerning on reflectivity, but when we've looked at velocity, we've not really seen anything that's jumping out on us. We do have some really bright velocities here. I think that's it's a radar artifact called side lobe contamination because it's hitting an upper part of the storm, and it's kind of confusing the radar just a bit. But if we were having any kind of circulation with this storm, it wouldn't be in that noisy spot. It would be kind of over Beggs right now, and there's some weak circulation with that. So we're going to be watching that closely, because if this continues to develop stronger, that will pose a threat for Winchester, Hectorville, and up into southeastern parts of Tulsa County. Our ongoing tornado warning, as Mike said, moving into and out of northwestern sections of Craig County, and that's going to be sliding across the border. That's a really strong rotation just to the north of Highway 10, really bright red right next to bright green, and that's the circulation. So Banzette area, watch this really closely. You probably should be in your tornado safe place right now. Let's jump to correlation coefficient. And I don't see what is likely a substantial indication at all that we have lofted debris, thankfully. And with reflectivity, remember where that circulation is? That's embedded deeply into this heavy rain. So you're not going to get any kind of visual cue if you're waiting to see a funnel cloud before you head to the shelter or cellar. Not going to get it with this setup because that is the circulation, and it is deep in some of the heaviest rain right now. So north of Highway 10, everybody south of Highway 10, we can give the all clear to in Craig County. North of Highway 10, all the way up to the Kansas state line, and then it will be moving out of our coverage area as it moves into Labette County in Kansas, up toward Hackberry, Highway 166, but it's close to Banzan. Now, on the wider view, let's look to the south. We have our severe storm moving up into parts of southern Tulsa County, a cluster of heavy rain in between, and then we've got another embedded circulation, what is likely produced a wall cloud at least in parts of Atoka County right now, and this is moving up toward Kiowa. Let's check velocity, and again, we're looking at that strong rotation just to the southwest of Kiowa right now. We're still a long way from the radar site, but the rotation is strong. The tornado warning continues until 2 o'clock, so that's 14 more minutes from now. This is going to continue to move toward the northeast. Let me pinpoint that circulation. Take this to the northeast, 25 to 30 miles per hour. And again, Highway 69 is right in the middle of this. So if you know anybody en route to North Texas, Dallas area, give them a call. Tell them to wait this thing out at the Turnpike rest stop there on the Indian Nation Turnpike. If they're going south, if they're going north, wait this out in Atoka before it moves by. But Kiowa area right in the next few minutes. Savannah just up the highway a few miles, 211, the Army plant gate for the Army ammunition plant there. West of Savannah, I'm looking at 212. Chambers at about 218. If this holds together, we're looking at McAllister just after 230, and it is a strong circulation. Let me see if we can get a little different vantage point. Again, bright red, bright green right here. We'll check correlation coefficient, and it looks like we have more of an indication of hail and really heavy rain with it than we have any debris type indications. But we're up in Pittsburgh County right now, and extrapolating this is going to be a concern for McAllister just after 2:30 as it moves to the northeast. So the tornado warning does not include McAllister, but it gets right up to the airport on the south side of McAllister. Again, watchful waiting in McAllister. We'll watch this really closely for you. We still have a tornado watch in effect for a big part of eastern Oklahoma. We've been able to drop Washington, Pawnee, and Osage County from that tornado watch, but we've also added a lot more counties on the east side of the watch into Missouri and parts of Arkansas. 2 tornado warnings in our coverage area. Northern Craig County about to move into Labette County in Kansas, and also southwestern parts of Pittsburgh County. Quick look into the metro because we need to examine that storm that's coming up from the Beeline, Highway 75, Beggs area up into southeastern parts of Tulsa County right now. Again, it has that concerning look to it because part of the storm is leaned back northwest to southeast, but when we look at it on velocity, we have a noisy signal here that's likely, we talked about a few minutes ago, it's side lobe contamination of the velocity data. If we had any rotation, it's going to be just a little bit further to the north and west, but that's still kind of a noisy velocity picture and likely not significant rotation. But what it does tell me, it's got the structure necessary to drop some hailstones out of it too. Let's check in with Fox 23 meteorologist Mike Grogan. Mike?
Yeah, if you find yourself in a tornado warning, you're just joining us, it's been a while since spring, here's what you do. You make sure you're staying in place if you can, unless you're perhaps in a mobile home or especially a vehicle. You want to go to the lowest, most interior part of your house. More walls between you and outside. Add layers of protection should there be flying debris. One more way to protect yourself is like a helmet, a pillow, a blanket, anything to protect your head in particular and your feet as well. Wearing shoes is key. We're going to continue to stream our information here on air and online. So if you need to head to your shelter without a television, you might be watching us there on the Fox 23 app. By the way, if you are watching us online, you might get a delayed signal from us by a minute or two. So just be aware of that. There is, once again, a delay when we're bringing this to you over the airwaves and even especially online. So just be aware your information might be dated by a minute or two, which is crucial when we're dealing with tornadoes especially. Just as the overview, we have our tornado warning, just a very northern extreme part of Craig County. We have a severe thunderstorm warning for far southern Tulsa County, far northern Okmulgee County, and then one more tornado warning here beneath the banner here in the Pittsburgh County area. Our tornado warned storm is just crossing into the Kansas area now, so thankfully, as we look at the broad circulation, it's near Banzette. This is going to continue along the Kansas line. If you're in Banzette, or have friends right here along the border area all the way to Chetopa, now is your time to be in your sheltered spot. Further south, here's that storm approaching far southern Tulsa area. Hectorville probably starting to get some of the heavy rain, wind gusts to 60 miles per hour, a threat with this storm. Not a tornado warned storm at the time, but certainly fairly well organized, and we're watching out for any sign of that as it continues northeastward. This is the latest track. Bixby, at least the northern part of the storm, may clip you around 209, so that's just here in the next 15 minutes. I wouldn't be surprised if it's earlier than that, as we're already dealing with heavy rain in the city. Lake Bixoma, 211, that would be near Leonard as well. If you are in Broken Arrow, maybe the southern end of the town, 225 is about your window of time when the heaviest of the storm will be approaching your location. Back to just the velocities. Not an organized signal for rotation, but the storm is oriented in a way. We'll be watching this very closely. Back to the south with our other tornado warning. This continues to make inroads into southern Pittsburgh County, very close to the community of Kiowa right now. The warning takes us up to the southern extent of McAllister right now. I'm going to pause the motion here so we can check in on the velocity. Our rotation is still very close to Highway 69 there, so that very heavily traveled route towards portions of, southern Pittsburgh County here. This would be like the route you take to Dallas, right over Highway 69. This is looking pretty higher up in the storm. We're pretty far from the radar site. Because of the curvature of the earth, we ended up with a site that's maybe into the mid-levels of the storm, but it still shows organized rotation north of the community of Kiowa, not far from Pittsburgh, still being your sheltered spot. A few more minutes in Kiowa near the Ashland Highway junction of Highway 69 is where we find that area of concern. Broadening the view a little bit, I'm just going to check in on the correlation coefficient, and being where we are in terms of the radar site, nothing that's super concerning to me there, but still a defined circulation that continues northeastward, almost paralleling Highway 69. I think it's going to end up just barely on the east side of it with time, but still Savannah, move to your sheltered spot right now, and this will continue eventually Highway 270. If you're between McAllister, Alderson, and Hartshorn, this is your time to think about where you're going to go should a warning be extended into your area. That is certainly something we're watching. By the way, if you're watching us from the Tulsa area, I just want to give you a quick radar update. Heavy rain, nothing severe in the city itself. The warning takes us up to about Bixby. That's where we're concerned about some strong wind gusts. The rest of the city just getting some heavy rainfall. But of course, with the amount of rain we've seen, you'll have to watch out for low-lying spots. There might be some flooding. Thankfully, not a flood warning in effect, but we've had repeated rounds of rain with over half a foot of rain falling in much of the Tulsa area just in the past 3 days. James, we'll send it back to you.
Yeah, we're focused in on this storm moving out of northern Okmulgee County right now, and the atmosphere it's moving into is still favorable for development of rotation in the storm. We've watched closely at a couple of spots that have tried to generate a little bit of rotation, but so far nothing has been sustained or really organized. But we're keeping an eagle eye on this for Bixby, Hectorville, Leonard, and maybe as far to the southeast as Stone Bluff. We can give you a track on this because this will be moving up to the northeast. I'm going to do a track from the area that we do have a little bit of a small circulation with. This is going to be moving up toward Hectorville, Carmichael's at Mingo and Highway 64. Bixby, at least the north edge of this, could be back up toward 213. Lake Bixoma in extreme southeastern parts of Tulsa County and southwestern Wagner County, and Leonard at 218, Bixby East Elementary School, but that's going to be the northernmost edge of this too. That'd be by about 220, Indian Springs Country Club in South BA, Childress Middle School in BA at 225, and the Rose District downtown Broken Arrow at about 232. We still have a tornado watch in effect. We have 2 tornado warnings, one in northern Craig County, a new one in Pittsburgh County. Let's talk about that one too, because in Craig County, we have this circulation that's just about to move up into southeasternmost Kansas right now. we've got that tornado warning that's in effect until 2:15, but as we check velocity, I think we're seeing that circulation moving right up on the county line right now. So in the next couple of minutes, this is going to be across the state line out of our Fox 23 coverage area. Let's go to the south because number one, we've got a no severe thunderstorm warning from Rogers County back up into Craig County. As we put the conventional radar on, we're looking just to the northeast of Foyle right here. Quick check of velocity. I don't see any sign of organized rotation there along the leading edge, but again, it's with this setup that we have in the atmosphere, something we're watching out for. Across the city of Tulsa, heaviest rain with this thunderstorm south of the Creek Turnpike right now. It is severe, may have some hailstones in it too as it moves to the northeast. I don't think it's going to be giant hail, but as we look into Pittsburgh County, the new tornado warning for Pittsburgh County has been issued by the Weather Service, and that gets us out of Atoka County, but up until 2:30, but it does include Kiowa and Savannah. We look at velocities. Again, some reds here, greens here, so that puts the center of rotation just to the southwest of McAllister and moving to the northeast. So if this holds together, we're talking Savannah just in the next few minutes at 2 o'clock, McAllister 2:16, Krebs 2:19, Richville, Mecco after 2:20. But as we look right into that storm, still see that rotation right along Highway 69. And that's what we're looking at. Again, the reds here, the greens here, that is showing us that that circulation is moving up towards Savannah right now. Still a long way from the radar site with a circulation that weak. I don't expect to see any big lowerings in correlation coefficient if we had a tornado down. Indeed, I don't see anything that looks like debris as we look at dual pole Doppler radar. And again, that is the circulation just to the southwest of Savannah, but Savannah Airport, or Savannah up toward McAllister Airport along Highway 69 and crossing the Indian Nation Turnpike. You should take your tornado precautions with that strong circulation. There's, again, the other look at it from Norman's radar. And you get center circulation pretty much on top of Savannah. That's going to be moving to the northeast toward McAllister. McAllister officially not in the warning area, but out of abundance of caution, we need to be watching that really closely. Metro area, severe storm. Lifting to the northeast into parts of Bixby, probably into Leonard too. Let's examine that again because from time to time it has shown some supercell characteristics. So anytime that happens, it does cause us a lot of alarm in a situation, in an atmosphere that's set up like it is. And again, it has a little bit of a hook shape, but so far we're not seeing much in the way of organized rotation. Maybe a little bit of southeast of Hectorville right now, but again, just a little bit. This is not a significant rotation at all. As we check hail, and a couple little indications that we might be getting some hailstones falling out of this, but just tiny. I don't see any sign that we have large hail with it either, thankfully. Everybody in Okmulgee County now west of Highway 75, we can give the all clear to with this strong to severe thunderstorm lifting into Tulsa County right now. We'll do a track on it as it moves to the northeast. Let me expand the view so I can get that whole storm in it. The part we're really concerned about, and that's the most intense, is right along the county line between Okmulgee County and Tulsa County. Let's do a track, though, on the whole leading edge of this, because that's where the heaviest rain and likely the gustiest winds will be. We'll be moving up toward Hakey Creek Park at about 2 o'clock, Oliver Middle School in BA at 2:04, Broken Arrow, that's the Rose District area at about 2:09. Broken Arrow High School at 2:13, Liberty Elementary at 2:16, Oak Grove Fire Department on into Wagoner County at about 2:26, Inola and Kiowa just after that along Highway 88 at 2:43. And remember, it's important to say we don't have any indication that we have sustained or strong rotation with that storm, but we're watching it really closely. We'll be able to hand this one off into Kansas with the strongest rotation now moving out of Craig County and into the southeasternmost part of Labette County. Looks like that's happened. It's maybe some indication that we're right on the state line. So there's a little bit of rotation here and also just south of 166 right now. We'll go back to reflectivity. Again, pretty heavily into that rain and moving into Labette County. So that's going to be moving out of our coverage area to the west of Highway 59 in parts of Craig County. as it moves across the state line into the state of Kansas. Now, further to the south, we still have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect in northeastern Rogers County and Craig County. This part does include Veneta, and as we've done all afternoon with this setup, we've watched closely for any segment of the storm that's leaned back from northwest to southeast. That orientation allows it to take full advantage of the wind profile in the atmosphere to generate some spin potential. So those are the spots that we're watching closely for any kind of spin up to take place. And one of those spots, northeast of Claremore right now, south of Chelsea, this is Highway 28 and crossing the Will Rogers Turnpike over toward Adair. And as we look closely into here, not seeing any kind of significant rotation. So that is great news. Wider view, we'll do a track on this as it moves to the northeast, because this may bring at least some gusty wind or hail threat toward Veneta. See a couple little splotches here where we might be seeing some hail, but it's not terribly big at all. But we'll do a track on the leading edge of this cell. Moving to the northeast, close to 30 miles per hour toward Bowland Spring, Sunsweet, Estella, White Oak, Cocklebur Flat at 244, Pyramid Corners by 248. That track would take most of this core just to the west of Veneta, but don't let your guard down in Veneta. It's going to be close to you. As we look further to the south, the National Weather Service has extended the severe thunderstorm warning from our southeast Tulsa, Bixby, Leonard storm all the way up into Wagoner County. Updated track on this one. This is we'll zoom right into the city here in just a bit too, but this is gonna be moving northeast toward Leonard at 206, NSUBA on the Creek Turnpike Outer Loop at 209, Fair Oaks 216. You can see the new Tulsa development 223, Tiowa 236, Justice 238. Inola, and eventually the Claremore Airport as we get closer to 245. Let me zero into the city and Broken Arrow right now, and we'll show you exactly where some of the heaviest rain is falling. Right now, Bixby, Memorial Drive, a soaker from the Creek Turnpike all the way down to that bend at 151st Street. Heavy rain moving into southwestern parts of Broken Arrow. There's Oliver Middle School too, and just about to move into the Indian Springs Country Club. You put this on, you can see it is pouring down South Garnett Road and basically the Hakey Creek Park area, so Garnett between 111th and 121st. There's Bixby East Elementary School with that heavy rain moving in right now. Quick check of velocity as we're zoomed all the way in. And again, thankfully we're not seeing any suspicious spots with this. We go further to the south and the heavy rain continues all the way down. There's Carmichael's at Mingo and Highway 64. Further to the south, the heavy rain rolls on all the way down into northern Okmulgee County, and that's going to continue moving northeast up toward Lake Bixoma and toward Leonard. Let's check the latest here as we continue to expand that view, and we have more heavy rain moving into Okmulgee County, and that may end up being a little bit of a flood threat for us. And the National Weather Service has extended the tornado warning into most of Pittsburgh County as a severe thunderstorm warning, so that's certainly a good sign, but we'll have to watch that very closely too. And we're not out of the woods just yet, because especially east of Highway 69, as we go deeper into the late afternoon hours and into the early evening, the atmosphere will be very supportive, even more so for rotating thunderstorms and tornado development. You can already see one tornado warning out in western Arkansas right now, but this whole cluster of thunderstorms continue to move to the east. As far as severe weather goes, I think we can give the all clear in Tulsa, at least the city of Tulsa, with this cluster of thunderstorms mainly moving up from Bixby into Broken Arrow. Everybody north of the Creek Turnpike and west of Highway 169 in Tulsa, we can give you the all clear. We'll clear the rest of Tulsa County hopefully soon. Let's check in with meteorologist Mike Grogan, right?
Yes.